Adam Weinrib here on behalf of FanSided with Olympics legend Katie Ledecky ahead of the 2024 games in conjunction with her relationship with Core Power. So, Katie, thank you for joining. First of all, tell me about your relationship with Core Power and what inspired the partnership.
Yeah, well, I've been a long time Core Power fan, so I'm really excited to be an official Core Power partner now. Competing at the Olympic level doesn't come without a strong understanding of how to properly recover and refuel. And I've been at it a long time, and I learn more and more every year. And from an early age, I learned that recovery and getting those nutrients to refuel right after a hard practice or a hard race is really crucial. So it's been a long time part of my routine, and I'm excited to be an official partner now.
How has this year's Olympic training compared to previous cycles for you, and how has Core Power helped a little bit with that readiness?
Yeah, well, it doesn't get any easier. So every year, training gets harder and harder, and I'm striving for more and more each year. So just as I've gotten older, as I said, recovery becomes even more important. So I drink a Core Power. I love the chocolate flavor every day after practice. So it's really easy to get my Core Power right after a workout, just throw it in my bag before practice and have it while I'm driving home from practice before I can get a full meal in.
Favorite flavor is going to be my next question, so I'm glad you cleaned that up. That's an easy one. Uh,
Yeah, I'm a lover of chocolate, so anything chocolate flavor is mine.
awesome. You mentioned how, obviously it gets a little difficult to train as you get older. You are obviously sort of the sport's foremost champion and have been for a while. Is there still something at this point in your career that you're trying to get better at, or is it mostly about just maintaining that routine, maintaining the reps, making sure that you're in the best shape that you can be in?
I'm always trying to get better, and there's always something that I have my eye on. I'm always trying to get better in training, and I feel like I've done a really good job of that over the years, just taking things up a level each year. And so, I think it translates over to the meets as well, the consistency that I try to have every day, and then every day at competition. So yeah, it's the Olympics. It's an eight or nine day meet this year. So I have races almost every day. So that's why that recovery piece is really critical for me, because it's not like I just have one race on one day. It's multiple races, prelims, finals, where I have to be on my A game.
Looking back on your Olympic career a little bit, you sort of in 2012 you sort of unexpectedly capture gold, but then in 2016 in Rio you're cleaning up the medal stand. You've entered your dominant era. What meant more to you in a way? Cracking to the surface, shocking the world, or sort of that total complete dominance?
I don't think I can say that one means more to me than the other. Certainly the one in London was super memorable, and just that whole experience was completely new for me. It was my first time competing internationally. So I have lots of memories of just the first of everything. But then Rio and Tokyo were definitely unique experiences themselves. And, just again, I have great memories from those games as well. So I'm excited to work towards Olympic trials, which are in 9 weeks now, and hopefully then be on my way to Paris.
When you're racing, I ask as someone who obviously does not have any of the skills that you have. Do you like to catch your opponents? Do you like to come from behind and catch your opponents to add to that drama and that feeling of security, or would you rather just lead a race from the beginning and pull away?
I don't think I have a preference. Both have their place. Certain races, I have different race strategies than others. But I'm always just trying to give my best effort, and be fast from the start and fast from the finish, or to the finish. So yeah, I don't have a preference. It kind of varies race by race.
Of course. Well, these the Paris Olympics are coming up sort of at a great time for women's sports, especially. We've got sort of this women's basketball revolution going on. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, everybody watching the women's college tournament and then into the WNBA draft. And it feeds really nicely into the Olympics where you, Simone Biles, Sha'Carri Richardson, all sort of set up to be prominent figures for Team USA. How does it feel to sort of be a part of this wave of extremely talented women right now that might be cresting this summer?
It's exciting. I think I've always been a huge fan of women's sports, and to just see the excitement around it right now is incredible. And to be a small part of it is an honor. And hopefully the Team USA women will do really well in Paris and inspire a lot of young girls around the world to get into sports and to be excited about sports.
Caitlin Clark also notably appeared on SNL this weekend, just a couple of days ago. Is that something that would interest you? Would you ever do that if approached, or not your thing?
Yeah, I'm a fan of SNL, so if I was ever approached, I think I would strongly consider it for sure.
Okay, great. Yeah, good to know. So question about sort of, you mentioned the structure of this year's Olympics, that it's like an 8 or a 9 day meet. You really have to stay prepared for so much more than I think the average viewer realizes. Um, with that in mind, do you have any downtime at all during your time at the Olympics? Are you able to relax, get out, see Paris or anything like that? Or are you just sort of spending most of your time at the Olympics focused on consistently being ready and consistent preparedness?
Yeah, most of the time I'm really just focused on competing. There's really not a lot of time to waste energy. Just in terms of walking or getting around the city. So hopefully I'll qualify in a lot of different events, and I need to be really, again, just focused on racing. Doing any of the training and warm down, warm up in between, the recovery, getting my core power in while I'm warming down. I just had a meet this past weekend, and that's kind of it's all part of my routine that I'm practicing for Olympic trials and the games. So I feel very well prepared right now, that I know what I need to do each day of the competition, and hopefully I'll have a little bit of downtime after the competition to enjoy Paris a little bit. Maybe I'll build in a couple days on the back end to get around the city a little bit, because
Yeah.
I've never been to Paris, so I'm looking forward to it.
Is that sort of how, that's funny that you mentioned you've never been, is sort of traveling for Olympic competition and similar competition, is that how you travel and see the world? Like do you ever bake in just, all right, this is some me time, this is a vacation, or is it mostly structured around, traveling for work, for sport?
For me, it's mostly structured around the competition schedule. So London in 2012 was actually my first time traveling internationally for a swim meet. I had traveled internationally one other time before that, but I think since London, all of my international travel has been for swim meets, and I've done a lot of it pretty much, once or twice a year. So I've gotten around the world quite a bit through swimming, which I never imagined I would be able to. And um, yeah, occasionally I'll build in a couple extra days on the end of the competition to get around the city and explore a little bit. But I'm also not someone to take long extensive breaks at the end of seasons. So usually I have to get back to the States and get back into my training.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. That's how somebody might become Katie Ledecky, is never taking long breaks. So that makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
Um, you is there sort of, obviously you've been through the Olympic competition, several times at this point. Is there still a moment, every Olympics that sort of takes your breath away and makes you realize like, oh, okay, I made it. Like I'm at this peak. Or does that, is it your first time that really overwhelms you, and then after that it sort of feels a little more routine?
I think each time that I've walked into the Olympic Village for the first time, that's when it really hits me that I'm there and I've made it back. I think just being among all these different athletes from all over the world, all different sports, coming together in this one moment in this little village. It truly is like a bubble. It's pretty amazing and just pretty amazing to people watch and see everyone in the cafeteria, getting ready for their competition, go off to their different buses to go to their venues, all of that. It's just amazing to watch the world come together like that, and to be a part of it is pretty surreal.
Now, do you have a Team USA teammate this year who maybe, fans and viewers in America aren't totally aware of yet, but they definitely should be?
Well, our Olympic team hasn't officially been named yet, given we still have our Olympic trials in June. But one swimmer who's actually from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area who competed in the Tokyo Games. She just had a great meet this past week. Tori Husk. She's a really great 100 butterflyer. Also a great sprint freestyler. So I think you probably see her in a number of events and relays this summer.
Speaking of that, that area where you grew up and Bethesda, I know that, are you, in terms of professional sports, are you like a regional fan? Are you a Baltimore fan, DC fan? How do do you have the time to consume pro sports? And if so, what are your fandoms to this day?
Yeah, well, my uncle is actually one of the co-owners of the New York Islanders, so I'm a big Islanders fan. I watch almost every game. They have the opportunity to clinch a playoff spot tonight, so fingers crossed. And then I am a big DC sports fan as well, so I'm a big Nationals fan. It's kind of my favorite Washington team. So, but I love all of the Washington teams and grew up going to a lot of different games.
Awesome. I hope to see you. I think I'd rather see you do a puck drop than a first pitch, if I'm being honest. Both,
I
both.
have done a couple first pitches. Those have been fun.
Have you done a puck drop?
I have not done a puck drop.
It feels like we probably got to pull some strings and make some calls.
No, no, no.
Great. You also, I'll wrap here. You have a memoir coming out this summer as well. What can you tell me about the process of writing it? What did you learn about yourself from pulling it all together?
Yeah, it's been a really great process over the past year. I just felt like I had a lot of stories from my swimming career and a lot that I wanted to share and hopefully inspire young kids and adults alike, to in their sport and school and whatever activities they're passionate about. And yeah, I think it's a fun read. It's a lot about my Olympic experiences, my training, the process, really just everything that goes into getting to this level, and the support that I've had as well, my family, my friends, my coaches. So yeah, Just Add Water. It's out June 11th, so right before Olympic trials.
Perfect. Well, Katie Ledecky, thank you so much for joining me on behalf of Core Power. Anything else you'd like to mention before we sign off?
No, again, I'm just really excited to be an official Core Power partner. We have a fun TV commercial coming out, but really this partnership is all about refueling and recovery, and reminding athletes, whether you're an Olympic athlete or just getting ready for a 5K this next weekend. It's just a reminder to grab your core power and take your recovery just as seriously as your preparation.
And I need a refueling just from watching the Olympics for 2 weeks, so I can only imagine how you feel.
Yeah,
If you're out there, grab your chocolate core power if you want to be like Katie Ledecky.
exactly.
Katie, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thanks.